So it goes, everyone. Welcome to the Dennis Hearth Open Hearthstone Tournament. I'm your host, Kenneth King. Let's take a look at the brackets. I actually forgot to change the date. Apologize for that. So we only have 4 applicants this time. The other 4, they missed their deadline to turn in their information. But that's okay. They can, apply for another week or apply even for tomorrow. So let's go to the player versus screen. Dominus did not want to have a photo on screen, so we chose to use a proxy here. Alrighty, let me message these players and we will get started. Sorry for the delay, everyone. So a few technical issues that we should be able to clear up as we get, deeper along to doing these tournaments. Okay, we might have an issue with Skype. I had set up properly before, but it reset for whatever reason. So hopefully things will work out properly. Okay, it should be ready to go in a moment or so. Okay, looks like they're ready to go. Let's go to the mulligan screen here. Let's see, are they? Alrighty, so it's Paladin for Dark Jaguar and Shaman for Dominus. So Dark Jaguar is getting rid of everything except quality. Obviously, with Feral Spirits and the like in Shaman, that's probably a good call. Although his mulligans didn't work out too great for him. Hogger and Avenging Wrath in the opening hand are not the greatest choices. But you take what you can get. Dominus still undecided. He knows he doesn't want Doomhammer, obviously. He's thinking about keeping the Flame Tongue. I think Feral Spirit's fine. Yeah, Lightning Storm's probably a better pull for him. Let's go to the game board. Alrighty. Same problem as before. Let me see if I can fix this. 1 second. Okay. Oh, it didn't reset. Interesting. Sorry about this, guys. 1 second. So we're only seeing Dominus' screen. We're not seeing Dark Jaguar. I'll try to fix this. Interesting. Okay. So we're just gonna stick with. So Dominus is actually the shaman that you're seeing now. So I apologize for this mishap. So obviously Dark Jaguar doesn't have much of a board, as you can see. Uh, so he's going to coin out Avenging. Oh, he's going to Quality Consecrate. Okay. I can't... Okay, so play the second Feral Spirit to protect his Archer Squire and Totem. He probably figured since he used Inequality just now that it's probably safe. I'm not sure I entirely agree with that play, but it doesn't necessarily hurt him. He'll have 5 mana next turn, so he can play Doomhammer if needed. Doomhammer can take care of the taunt just fine. Well, actually, you'll probably want to trade in one of the Feral Spirits in order to keep them both from dying. Lightning Storm doesn't do a whole lot here. I mean, he can risk a totem, but so he is going to go for the Doomhammer, and he is going to take 6 damage this turn to protect his minions. Now you can either trade in one of the Feral Spirits, or you can trade in the Totem and the Argent Squire. I would trade in the Totem and Argent Squire personally. I don't feel like they're as valuable as the Taunt, and that's what he does. Alright, so we got an Avenging Wrath. Not the greatest Avenging Wrath, but it sort of works out for him. He nearly clears the board. Okay. So the Shaman has dominated this match. I mean, obviously, the Paladin can come back with heals and another equality, but obviously it's not looking good for him. Okay, so he's going to choose Silver, I assume the 2-1. Going to break even on damage. And he heals for 6. He needs to get some minions on the board besides the hero power. It's obviously really hurting him that that's the best he can do so far. So now you can afford to trade the Unbound and heal it back up with the Healing Totem. So basically, it's essentially a free trade. He just misses 2 damage on face, but he's in the winning position right now, so it's fine. So he might go for Argus. Don't feel like it's the best idea. He's not in really any sort of dire straits that Argus would be necessary. Uh, of course, getting Argus on the Divine Shield would be great for him. Okay, so Paladin makes easy work of that board with the Wild Pyromancer. Fire Elemental will help clean up as well. Okay, so he Fire Lilies the Farseer, Earth Shocks the Wild Pyro. Gets the Searing Totem, not what he's looking for probably. He's probably looking for the Taunt Totem or spell damage. But after having his board wiped, he's managed to take the control back fairly easily. Okay, so Peacekeeper neuters the Fire Elemental. Oh, okay, it's a 50-50 Kodo, and he gets it. Alright, so after doing poorly in the opening round, the Paladin has managed to sort of swing his game back and forth. So now the Paladin is in control, but with the two Lightning Storms, the Shaman can take back control pretty quickly. Obviously hoping for a spell damage there, didn't get it. He might Hex and then Lightning Storm, not the greatest value for him, but we'll see what he does. Okay, 15 cards drawn. He's probably hoping for a Rock Bite at this point, so he doesn't want to use up the last of his Doom Hammer without getting that extra damage in. He may not have a choice though. Okay, so Hammer of Wrath on the 2/3. Okay, so Paladin able to make short work of this board again. Alrighty, Sunwalker comes out. Now, Shaman does have a Hex and he has an Earth Shock. Obviously, Hex would be a better option here. Okay, so again, looking for the spell damage, not getting it. Not sure what to do. I mean, he has to either Shock or Hex, I would imagine. Really, one of the only two options available to him. So choose the Earth Shock over the Hex, puts out a Harvest Golem. Going to Lightning Storm as well. Hoping to get a high roll so they can just take out the... No, he's just going to leave the minions there. Okay. I mean, obviously they want to take 7 damage. He said the Paladin heals himself. Okay. So he clears what he can and puts out a Sylvanas. So I imagine the Paladin was trying to bait a Hex with the Sunwalker. So now the Shaman has an option to clear pretty much the entire board now. He can Hex Sylvanas and then Lightning Storm. Still no spell damage to him. And he got the Rock Biter for the 10 damage bursty, but like he's probably going to wait for a second Rock Biter though. Now that the Paladin's healed himself out of range, it's not the best value anymore. But he does have to clear this board in order to live one more turn. Okay, so out comes Hex for Sylvanas and Lightning Storm. Hoping for a high roll on the Farseer. He gets it, clears the board. Exactly what he's looking for. So he still can't kill him next turn, at least not yet, unless he draws a second Rock Biter or a Lightning Bolt. But he's getting close. Okay. Oh, and that's game. There's the Lightning Bolt he was looking for. Alrighty. So game 1 goes to Dark Jaguar with the Shaman. Alrighty, so the players are going to get ready for their next match here. Again, I apologize for the technical issues with Skype. Had the same issues last week. Hopefully we can fix it for next week. I'll see what I can do. Alrighty. Okay. Now it's doing on the screen as well. It wasn't doing that before. Let's see. I made a small error. I forgot that the screen switched on Skype, so actually it was Dominus that won the first game of Shaman. So I apologize for that. Okay. So yeah, so Dominus is actually Shaman on top, and Dark Jaguar is the Druid on the bottom. Okay, so obviously not a good start for the Druid. Drawing all of his mid to late game cards. Not much he can do there. He's debating attacking the spell damage so he can kill it next turn, and he does take the chance that he will not draw a healing totem. Or a Feral Spirit for that matter. Not really time for a Feral Spirit. Protecting a spell damage totem is not the greatest value for it. Especially to overload yourself for 2 going to turn 4. Oh, but the Shaman does choose a Feral Spirit. Interesting. So the Druid, yeah, the Druid has a very bad hand here. Just drew a Faceless. Not much you can do there. You can Wrath one of the Feral Spirits, but things aren't looking great right now. Although he is getting to the point where he can play Druid of the Claw, so he's not too bad off. Both players had a somewhat slow start, and he has better minions on his side than the Shaman currently does. So things may be okay for him. The Shaman, of course, has some removal for it, so we'll see how it shakes out. Okay, and he does Wrath one of the Feral Spirits. Okay, so he coins out an Unbound to get around the Overload. It's part of the reason playing Feral Spirit turn 3 is not the greatest value. It hamstrings you going into turn 4. Here's how it comes through with the Claw in taunt mode. Okay. So you can Lightning Bolt to buff up his Unbound trade. He may not necessarily want to trade the taunt, but I do think the Unbound is a more valuable card right now. Especially considering they're both vulnerable to swipe. And okay, so he plays the other Unbound, gets double value out of it, and he does trade the Feral Spirit. So now he has a very strong board here. Made short work of the Druid of the Claw. Okay, so draw the Wild Growth. Not what he went to see turn 6. His options are limited. Black Knight no longer has any value. Not the Feral Spirits are gone. Can't do much with the Auctioneer. But he's going to innervate out a Ironbark. Of course, Shaman does have a Hex. So, again, he can make short work of the Druid's minions. And he does. And needs the Healing Totem to kill the spell damage. To heal, excuse me, the spell damage. Okay, so Druid draws a swipe, but not a swipeable board for him, unfortunately, unless without spell damage. Even then, he would leave a 3/3 on the board. He swipes anyway, though, and he trades with his 0 power. Want to clear as much as he can. Not the greatest value, of course, because the Healing Totem can undo the work he just did on that board, most of it anyway. Okay, so out comes Doomhammer. Buffs up the Unbound once again. Okay, so the Druid has drawn poorly this entire game. Just got a Nourish, but not going to help him much without an Innervate to go along with it, which he does not get. So the best he can do is kill the 1/1 totem. Okay, so the Shaman totems again, decides to play Argus, protecting his Unbound further. And getting in 2 extra damage. The Druid's down to 5. Not a whole lot he can do here. Okay, so we got the Innervate. It's a bit late, but maybe you can make some work out of it. He has a second Ironbark. He has a second Druid of the Claw. He definitely needs some sort of taunts up, at least. He's debating putting all of his eggs in this one basket. He may not have much of a choice, though. He doesn't have enough to innervate Faceless or anything like that. Okay, so let's come to Ironbark, and I just lost a call with Crockett, but he might hopefully reconnect. Okay, of course, Shock making short work of the Ironbark, and that's game. So that's 2-0 in favor of Dominus, and he takes this series. Alrighty. Sorry again about the these issues, guys. Looking at the Skype screen, and I didn't realize it had cut off on the stream. Alrighty, but so again, so in the first match we have Dominus as the victor. Okay. So the next match will be between Nair and Potter. So while I set that up, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back to the tournament. So let's take a look at the brackets again. So now we have a match between Nair and Potter. Let me change these. Unfortunately, I can't do it any other way except live. But 1 second. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so let me message the players to let them know that we're ready. Okay. Alright, so we should be good to go here. Okay. I don't think the mulligan was fixed. Let me see. Oh, it wasn't. Okay, so let's go to the game screen here. Alrighty. So Nair is playing Shaman and Potter is playing Warlock. Okay, so out comes Flame Imp. Standard turn 1 play for Zoo. So the Shaman Rockbiters, he's taking damage anyway. He wants to clear that off the board before it gets before it's protected by Voidwalker. And of course, out comes Voidwalker. Okay. Alrighty. He's out some Scarlet Crusader. Shaman is doing well here. Not a whole lot the Zoo can do against Voidwalk without Soulfire. Against Unbound, excuse me, without Soulfire. And he just, of course, he just top decks it. So now he has an answer. Because he doesn't want to discard the Doom Guard, so he's it's a risk. And he does discard the Doom Guard, so that's unfortunate. Life taps, which he probably should have done before to increase the chance of that not happening, but what's done is done. Okay, so out comes Lightning Storm. Okay, second Soulfire. Mortal Coil the Ardent Squire. It's a Voidwalker. Not the greatest value to taunt up the Voidwalker with Argus, but looks like he's going to do it anyway. Okay, so not many options for the Shaman right now. Okay, so Totems and Blood Mage. It's about the best he can do. Okay, so Knife Juggler and Young Priestess. It's fairly nice draws. Going to attack with the Voidwalker to increase chances of pinging a... should kill the spell damage person, I would say. Increase chances of killing the other spell damage, the Blood Mage, with the Knife Juggler. Plus, you want to get spell damage gone off the board anyway. And he does get the Blood Mage with the Juggler. Okay, so he draws an Unbound and a Flame Tongue. Again, not a ton of options. He really needs a board clear, but he already used his only lightning storm in hand. Perhaps he should have waited maybe a couple turns. So you get to be a little greedy with your board clears with Zoo, because they will definitely be greedy with minions. He's debating hexing the Voidwalker. Not the greatest value, of course, but as a 2/5, it's a pretty big threat right now for him. He's going to kill the Knife Juggler as well. Okay, so he buffs the Argus with Abusive, plays the Flame Imp, takes out the Flame Tongue. Oh, he doesn't take out the the Flame Tongue. He hits the wrong one. Wow. Okay. It's an interesting mistake. Considering he was targeting the Flame Tongue, I'm not sure how he managed to screw that one up. Okay, so Firelink getting some good value here against the Flame Imp. He decides maybe he doesn't want to play it. Totems first. Okay, gets the spell damage of it, the taunt totem, excuse me. I mean, that misplay from the Warlock is going to cost him. The Flame Tongue should be dead, but obviously... So he has to sacrifice one of his minions, unless he wants to play his whole hand in Soulfire, the Flame Tongue, which is not the greatest value. But what he can do, of course, is kill the Fire Elemental after Soulfiring and killing the taunt, which is what he does. Okay, so second Argus for the Shaman. He's debating playing it Unbound. It's not really, you can't really protect it. Argus is not going to be enough. the Dark Iron Dwarf is a big issue for this board. Okay, so he uses Doomhammer to kill one of the Abusives and the Young Priestess. Buffs up the Unbound in the process. He's got 2 Divine Shields. He's further strengthening his board against the Shaman. He's very quickly running out of options. Okay, so he can't taunt this turn, but he can only taunt the Manatide, which is not great for him. Okay, so he's going to have to kill the Dark Iron. Really no other option there. I mean, you could go face and force the Dark Iron to trade, but he's risking a another buff to trade favor in the Warlock's favor. So he should just clear it now. He's sort of damned if he does, damned if he doesn't, of course. So maybe going face wouldn't be terrible. So looks like he does choose to clear. Yes, he does. Doomhammers the 2-1, and then he goes face with the extra charge. So the Shaman's down to 4 health. I mean, a Soulfire. Actually, no, he's already used both Soulfire, so now that's not an option. But getting through these taunts won't be terribly difficult for the Warlock to do. So we got to clear 1 right now. It is the most important one to clear, though, the 4 damage. So it's a very close match. The Shaman only needs 3 damage to win here. There's no taunt in his way. With the Soulfire's gone, it makes it a challenge for the Warlock to break through at this point. Okay, and he gets Alec here, so that's game. So unfortunately for the Warlock, even if he had cleared the board without a taunt, he was dead in the water anyway. Alrighty, so first match goes to the Shaman. Shaman is played by Nair, just to recap, and Potter's going to pick a new deck now. Looks like he might go with Hunter. We'll see. He's still deciding. Okay, he does decide to go with Hunter. Alrighty, let's go back to the game screen here. Okay. Okay, so Hunter mulliganing his entire hand. I personally would have kept one of the Stone Touch Spores, especially since Hunter's Mark is such a great combination. He draws Kill Command, not much he can do turn 1. Okay. Neither player has the turn 1 play. Probably the only option here is the hero power for the Hunter. Playing a Dire Wolf doesn't really gain him much here. He needs to use it to trade up, not just simply to throw out his sacrifice. Okay, so Outcome's Unbound. Feral Spirit ready to go next turn. Okay, so we can silence with the Iron Beak, but again, not the greatest value. It's probably with 2 taunts coming out, it's not going to do a whole lot for him. He doesn't really have a good play here. I mean, silence might actually be the best play, but it doesn't do much. Also, there will probably be better targets to silence later on, so using it this early is a risk. And this is precisely why keeping the Stone Tusk Boar in the opening hand would have been a wise choice. But he just hero powers and passes. Okay, so out comes Feral Spirit. Buffs up the Unbound. 3 damage. Simple. Okay, so you have an Arcane Shot, so he can now, with Hunter's Mark, take care of the Unbound, but he's got 2 taunts in the way. Of course, with 4 mana, he can also kill command 1 of the taunts, so he can clear most of the board. Again, it doesn't leave him with a bunch of options. He's not developing his board at all. He doesn't have minions really to develop, unfortunately. But he's not doing too great here. But if he can hold the Shaman at bay, it'll help at least a little bit. So he will clear most of the board, leaving 1 taunt. Okay, so just Totem and Pass for the Shaman. Not much he can do there. Okay, so Animal Companions like the first good draw the Hunter has had all game. Tundra Rhino would not be terrible, but be better for him to wait on that, I would argue. Gets Misha, the best Animal Companion minion. I don't really agree with the Direwolf play. Should have just hero powered. I mean, buffing the Misha to 5 doesn't gain him anything. Misha still trades favorably with the entire board. And now all he does is just leave the Direwolf open to not be able to trade when it gets picked off by a spell. Okay, so unfortunately the Shaman has to use 2 spells on Misha. Didn't get the spell damage totem he wanted. Okay, so Tundra Rhino comes out. Oh, Fire Elemental would be the perfect draw if it wasn't overloaded from the previous turn. He does have to find a way to get rid of that thing, because if it charges the Savannah or something like that, it's going to be really bad for the Shaman. Okay, so he has an Animal Companion, and he can Houndmaster it, which can be devastating depending on what he gets. Okay, he gets Huffer. Huffer has charge already, obviously, so doesn't gain anything there, but he can Houndmaster. Should Houndmaster the Tundra Rhino, obviously. With 3 health, it's very vulnerable to a lot of things in the Shaman deck, and he does. Turns to a 4/5. I would actually trade the other way, because I think the Tundra Rhino is more valuable than Huffer, and he isn't sure what to do. Okay, so he does do that. Yeah, so he trades Huffer with the Azure Drake, which is a better trade for him. He wants to keep Tundra Rhino as healthy as possible. Okay, so Hex, top deck, takes care of Tundra Rhino. And Lightning Storm takes care of the rest. Okay, there's a Stone Tusk Boar that he mulliganed both of at the beginning. Would have helped him out a lot sooner. Not much he can do. I would just pass here after hero power, and that's what he does. Really no reason to play anything. Best play here for Shaman is, I would say, Azure Drake. Mana Tide Totem is only good if you can protect it, which he can with Feral Spirit, but it overloads him again. I mean, considering, okay, so he's going to wait, actually. If he can Feral Spirit and Fire Elemental next turn. So that's actually the best way to do it. Okay, so second Houndmaster, which is now more or less a dead card. I mean, turning the Stone Test to a 3/3 doesn't do anything at this point, because I mean, unless he's going to kill command the mana type, which is not great value for him. There's really no need to. I mean, he doesn't really have a play here at all. But he is going to buff any silences. Okay, silences a taunt, takes out the mana type with the Stone Tusk. Okay, so out comes the Zero Drake and second Lightning Storm. Clears the board. Okay, so draw the tracking, see what he can get. Okay, so he has an activator for kill command, that's about it. His hand is obviously very weak compared to the Shaman. He has no board control, he has no card advantage. Hunter's in bad shape here. Pretty much all you can do is hero power. He can kill the Drake, but then what? You know, he doesn't really have any answers after that. Okay, so out comes Flame Tongue for the Shaman and Argus. Okay, with Valakir coming up pretty soon, it looks like it's going to be game 2 going to the Shaman as well. But we'll see what the Hunter can pull out of his hat. Okay, so second Hunter's Mark doesn't do much. Everything dies to an activated skill command. Okay. And Hunter concedes, and that is it for Potter. Alrighty. That's the wrong one. Okay, so as you can see, Nair taking that game 2-0 with Shaman, cleaning up very nicely. Potter just couldn't get out in front of his spell damage removal. All right, so let's go to the brackets. Alrighty, so the final will be between Dominus and Nair. So I believe both of them cleaned up very nicely today with Shaman. A very strong class. Lots of cheat removal. Obviously, you have to manage your overload. But if you're smart about it and you think 3 turns ahead, as you can see, you can clean up very nicely with it. Okay, so so we're gonna set up for the final match of the day, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back to the Dennis Open Hearthstone tournament. Let's take one more look at the brackets. So again, Dominus and Nair will be our final match of the night, best of 3. They will both be in the Dennis Invitational next week, but this match will decide who starts off with 1 extra point in the best of 5 rounds for the Dennis Invitational. Dennis Open is best of 3, and the Invitational are best of 5. So the first place winners of each Open will start with 1 extra point toward best of 5, and the second place will have to claw their way up to get past the first place winners. Alrighty, so let's go to the screen here. Again, Dominus doesn't have a photo. Alrighty, so let's. I'm gonna message the players to let them know that we're ready. Okay, so it'll be starting up in a moment. So on the loading screen right now. Alrighty. So we have Dominus the Rogue. Screens got switched again. But Dominus is playing Rogue at the bottom, and Nair is playing Shaman. Okay, so just totem up for the Shaman. Not much else to do. Okay, he's gonna weapon up. Hopefully he won't have to deal with the healing totem. Okay, so it comes Unbound. He doesn't have a ton of options. I mean, he can waste a coin to so he's just gonna play the S Agent without the damage proc. You saw come Feral Spirit and Lightning Bolt to clear the board and give a double buff to the Unbound. It's a great turn for Nair. So not many options here for the Miracle Rogue. You can coin out the Azure Drake, doesn't do much. Trades unfavorably with the Unbound. He does have a preparation, but without Deadly Poison and a Blade, without a weapon, I should say, and a Deadly Poison, Blade Flurry is not really an option here. But he does coin out the Azure Drake. The odds of it living are small, but it's at least the best play he has here. Okay, so Swamp Ooze for Shaman. It's a great tempo play against the Miracle Rogue to break a weapon. Having to waste 2 mana to re-equip a weapon is It's not good for a Miracle Rogue. They need every piece of mana they can get. Okay, so out comes Thalanos and Fan of Knives to clear most of the board, or half the board I should say. And he passes turn. Shaman plays Doomhammer, takes care of the Thalanos and goes face with everything else. So he can shiv an SA agent to get clear the board and get a body in play, which is what he'll do. Okay, so the Shaman is 1 mana off from being able to provide a perfect answer for the SA agent, so just Azure Drake instead. He may take 6 damage, we'll see. Nope, he just goes face. He is close to lethal now that he has a Rock Biter, so no reason to trade. Okay, so out comes Auctioneer and Backstab. Okay, cycles into the Deadly Poison. He can prep it, but it's not great value for him. He's probably wants to use the prep for something else. Okay, so he plays the prep, gets Sinister Strike, again, not the greatest value, to turn a 1 mana spell into a 0 mana spell. This might pretty much be game for the Miracle Rogue here. No heals. He can't afford to take any more damage, which he realizes. Okay, with the Unbound, that's game 1 goes to Nair with the Rock Biter. Again, Rock Biter providing a great deal of burst combined with Wind Fury for Shaman. Alrighty, so again, Shaman dominating this tournament today. Nair cleans up the first match very easily against Miracle Rogue. And let's wait till these players start up their next match. Let's see. Okay, it looks like it's going to be a Shaman Mirror match. Let's go to the game board here. Alrighty. Okay, so Nair passes turn. You can coin out the Unbound next turn. Dominus is not having much of a turn either, just plays a Healing Totem. And he does coin out the Unbound. Okay, so out comes Thalanos Lightning Bolt to perfectly counter the Unbound. Okay, so Nair draws the Lightning Storm, doesn't do much for him. At this point, he's just going to cycle a card with Thalanos, looks like. I would wait personally on that. Okay, so he does. Thalamus is a little bit too valuable to throw out that quickly. Second Feral Spirit for Dominus. Throws out one of them. Goes face with Thalamus and ends turn. Okay, so he does have a Thalamus Lightning Storm coming up next turn, but obviously leaving this board in this position is not great for him. He might want to Lightning Bolt one of the Feral Spirits just to... Okay, gets Searing Totem, doesn't do much. Okay, so he passes turn. He's going to wait for the Thalamus Lightning Storm, which is the best play for him right now. Of course, he's going to take a lot of damage now that Dominus has drawn a Flame Tongue. Okay. Dominus clears the board pretty easily. And here comes the Thalamus Lightning Storm. Easily clears the board. So he's back to turn 4 next turn, but with a clear board in his favor, that's perfectly fine. Okay, so here comes out the Unbound Elemental. Dominus plays it, or he doesn't. He's not sure yet. Okay, he decides to play it, and he's got a Feral Spirit as well. So he has a Nerf Shock, he has a Lightning Bolt, he has a Hex for the Unbound. Doesn't really have anything for the Feral Spirit, so... Okay, he's gonna silence the Unbound, kill one of the Feral Spirits. That works fine. Still puts the board in Dominus' favor, but it's about the best way to reduce some of the damage. Okay, so out comes Doomhammer. He's going to clear the board, protect his minions. Okay, so looks like Ooze is going to get some major value this matchup against Doomhammer. So Nair plays Ooze. Out comes Unbound Elemental as well. Or he's not sure yet. Okay, he plays it. So the burst damage that Nair was able to get against Dominus last game will not happen this game in the reverse. Still has some options for burst with Rockbiter and Flame Tongue. So not all is not lost for him. Okay, so he gets Spell Damage Totem and buffs up the other two minions trade. He's going to Rockbiter and protect his Unbound and take 3 damage against the Ooze. Okay, so out comes Alakir. Not a great board to drop Alakir on. He opts instead for the Drake. Okay. Lava Burst. Lava Burst doesn't really do much here. I would wait personally. He has a... He's going to do it anyway. Let's see. Yes, he Lava Burst the Flame Tongue. Not the greatest value. I think he could have waited a turn and used Fire Elemental. It makes it harder to get his Fire Elemental on the board now. Granted, he removes 4 damage, but his life total is not low enough that he needs to worry about that, really. Okay, so he plays Drake. He was hoping for a lightning bolt, did not get it. Thinking about Hex. I think he kind of wants to play either the Gnomish or the Unbound, but he can't leave the Azure Drake on the board, and he doesn't want to give him an unfavorable trade with the Unbound and the Feral Spirit. So Hex may be his best option here. Okay, so he goes for Gnomish instead. Draws another card. Gets his own Alakir. He pretty much has to trade in the two damage minions now. He's risking a pretty bad board clear. And he does. Okay, so he can play the Fire Elemental, Nair can, but doesn't do a whole lot for him with 7 mana. He can't even kill it. Okay, so instead opts for the Manatide Totem and plays Argus. It's fairly weak, but looks like that's his really only option here. So Dominance can clean up pretty nicely with the Lightning Storm. This isn't a good Lightning Storm board, though, although if he wants to apply pressure, he may use it anyway. He does have the combination of Alakir, Rockbiter as an option as well. But instead he uses Argus's. Trades the Azure Drake and the spell damage. Excuse me, the Gnomish. It's going to be tough for Nair to clear this board. We'll see what he can do. He doesn't have any board clears. He's hoping for a Taunt Totem. Kills spell damage. One of the spell damages that he can. Obviously, is not good for him. Okay, so out comes Alakir and Rockbiter, excuse me. That's 12 damage from Alakir alone. And Dominus bringing his own Shaman in to take out Nair's Shaman. Alrighty, so again, Shaman really dominating in this tournament today. So now the two are at 1-1, so this is the final match. Let's see if the... Okay, so they're loading it right now. So yeah, so we're on the final match of the night. This will determine who will reign victorious and who will go into the Dennis Invitational with 1 extra point toward their best of 5. So okay, so Nair decides to bring out Zoo. He's gonna mulligan the Doomguard and Shattered Sun. Gets Scarlet Crusader and Direwolf. It's a good opener. Shaman gets rid of Doomhammer. The rest of the cards he has there are good. He chooses to keep them. Hex not so great in the opening hand. I mean, fairly decent against a Divine Shield, but be better off using it on something like Doomguard. Okay, so standard turn 1 play for Zoo. Flame Imp. Dominus does not want to overload himself this early with Lightning Bolt, so what he might do is Rockbiter and coin out the Artem Square. And that's what he does. So the Shaman is the Warlock plays a Direwolf. Not the greatest value for him. Lightning Bolt not the greatest value against Direwolf either. I think the best play is to totem up, which Shaman chooses not to do. I'm not sure why he's protecting the Divine Shield so heavily. I think would have been better off trying to get a Taunt Totem or something. So out comes Harvest Golem for the Warlock, standard turn 3 play. So now Dominus totems up because he doesn't have an option to do anything else. Okay. Harvest Golem takes care of the spell damage. See if he can get to the Divine Shield with the Juggler. He does not. So it's a fairly decent Lightning Storm. If he gets it's a decent Lightning Storm if he gets the high roll on the Harvest Golem, because then he can clear with the Divine Shield. If he gets a low roll, it's not too great for him. He still trades evenly, but obviously he would rather make a one-way trade. And he does play the Lightning Storm. See if he gets the high roll. He does. So that turned out really well for the Shaman. So Disease getting a bit desperate here. Plays Abusive Sergeant into an Argus. Not a great play. I would have just played the Scarlet Crusader, which granted Earthshock trades favorably against it, but wasting your Argus in this manner at 25 health is not, I would call, the greatest play. So out comes Unbound from Dominus. Okay, so use the second Abusive Sergeant to trade evenly, well actually I should say favorably with the Unbound, and kills the Argent Squire and plays Scarlet Crusader. So it's a decent board, but everything has 1 health, so pretty easy for a Shaman to destroy. The only thing that would survive is the Divine Shield, and he just top decked a Lightning Storm on top of that. Obviously he wants to get rid of this board, but at the same time there's probably a better value Lightning Storm if he chooses to wait. This could spiral out of control if he top decks a Doomguard though, so maybe he wants to clear. Okay, so Lightning Storms. Of course everything dies except for the Scarlet Crusader, but the Taunt Totem blocks damage. Okay, so the Warlock can play his entire hand. He's got the probably the second best buff. I mean, putting a buff on the Scarlet Crusader is probably preferable, but getting the buff on the Divine Shield just makes the Argent Squire that much better. So out comes the Sturge Rake, that's all he can do that turn. Okay, so second Shield Bearer, second Argent Squire. Warlock getting a little unlucky here, getting his entire early game in the mid to late game. But he's been able to hold his own this whole time, so it's fine. So the Warlock going face, he knows the Shaman board clear options are now extinct. Out comes Alakir. One of the few times Allocator has been used defensively in this tournament. Probably been better to kill the Young Priestess, although it can only buff everything by 1 extra health, so you can still... Okay, so out comes Shield Bearer and Soulfire. It's a clean trade. I would have traded the 1/1 Divine Shield rather than the 1/2. Although now it got buffed for 1/2, so it's fine. So again, Shaman is running out of options. He can block damage with the Feral Spirits and buff up and unbound at the same time. Wouldn't be terrible. At this point in the game, being overloaded is not so bad, because as long as he controls the board, he'll be fine. So he can clear both taunts using Lightning Bolt, but he said he's going to Lightning Bolt the 2/1 to prevent further damage increases. I mean, further health increases, excuse me. Okay, so out come Harvest Golem and Shattered Sun. It's going to choose to buff the 1/2 without Divine Shield. Interesting. Just keep 2/1 on the board. So we can Argus for an even larger Unbound, but he might want to protect it by instead Argusing the Taunt Totem and Feral Spirit. Thalanos is pretty much a dead card at this point except for card draw, so he might play that just a cycle. Oh, so he chooses to buff his most important minions. Interesting. Doesn't make it hard to get through, but those cards are going to win him the game, so maybe he doesn't want them to be attacked. He does in fact buff them. Oh, he almost has lethal if it weren't for the Voidwalker. Okay, so now the Warlock is in a bit of a bind here. He can't tap. He draws an Argus. Okay, so Nair chooses to tap and end the game. So Dominus is our winner. Alrighty. So again, Shaman really dominating in this tournament. Dominus has emerged a winner. He will start in the Dennis Invitational with 1 extra point toward his best of 5. Nair will also be Nair will also be in the top 8 for the Dennis Invitational. So let's see here. Okay. Well, I'm going to talk with the contestants in a moment, but I want to thank you all for watching the stream. Again, next week we will have the Dennis Invitational starting at 5 p.m. streaming. More information will be on the website. Please go to StingRaze.com. You can see it below my webcam. Also, below the stream, you can see all the members of Team StingRaze. All of our streams are there. I'm planning to stream on Good Enough Show, my channel, shortly after this, at 7:30. So if you're interested, please stop on by. Alrighty. And again, I want to apologize for the technical issues we had with Skype. We are working to improve them in the future. We will see what we can do, and hopefully we can provide a smoother tournament experience for you guys going forward. Alrighty, thank you guys for watching, and have a good night.